Hi everybody, this is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Today was a very frustrating day for me. I had mentioned that I had the straddle put on, the straddle position heading into today, and really what that was looking for was either a large gap up or a large gap down. And we didn't really get that, but the thing is that the puts that I had were already in the money from yesterday, the close here. So when we moved gap down here and this support held right here, I saw that and I'm like, okay, I need to get out of this. And by the time I went to do it, it was up all the way up at the 60.84. I ended up just closing the put side, and then I ended up closing the call side, and it ended up being like a dead even, lost no money, made no money. But the problem where I said I was frustrated was here. The put premium was well into the money, and that's what I was trying to close, and it didn't let me out. And then I closed the call position once it was an even trade because I was just frustrated, and then that would have been another 20. So it could have been a fantastic day. It was just things moved very, very quick, and then I was just kind of frustrated, and I didn't really want to make any more trades. When I have my head is not right, and I was really kind of ticked off about that whole sequence of events. I just kind of stepped away. I had some personal things I had to do. So let's go over what's happening here. So we gapped down. Bulls came back up. From here, we just kind of went sideways. And then it was really the last 5 minutes of trading that the Bulls just put in some buy program. Now, what this is I was trying to draw it. It's hard to do. But a cup and handle. So here you can see this is the cup. Here's the handle. If this is the pattern, then this is the upside target, would be right up at the 61.31, not that far from here. Now, if it's another thing I'm looking at, I'm really just trying to find some upside targets that we can look at here, because when you're at new all-time highs, it's hard to do that. So the next method I used was just a fib extension, and that's going from this low to this high to this low, and this is 100%. So basically an ABC up to here. Now, if it starts moving higher on it, then we start moving into the 123%. But we may end up getting close to that, because here's the thing that I'm following right now is this reverse symmetrical triangle. So it's really an expanding top. And so if obviously, like I said, the ABC move brings us, I'm sorry, what is that? Hang on one second. 61.81. So that's that move there. Now, if we're going to make it to the top of this and it's going to follow this pattern, we can make it all the way up to 62.38. I'm not sure it's going to get there, but this is the thing. We have these sell signals on the 60-minute chart. We've really had zero pullback besides a 15 or 20 point. And the thing that's kind of crazy is that the S&P made its top on 12.5. It made its bottom on 110. So about a month it took to move from the 6100 down to the 5770. It's taken a week to get us back above these levels. So it's a massive short squeeze. I'm not one to really, I don't really agree with these. And I'm meaning I don't like to chase them, and I don't get overly bullish or bearish on it. It's just one of the things, you just let it go. You don't know when they're going to do this. But in any case, we have our upside targets that we want to keep an eye on. Now, I was kind of planning on this gap getting closed today, and obviously that didn't work out, and that's what got me. But so if we head higher tomorrow, you can see we're getting very overextended with our momentum. If it heads higher, I guess the first target we're going to look at is the 61.31. If they gap over it, then we can keep an eye and see if they can possibly get it up to the 61.81. I think it's a very, very tough ask, just from we're pretty overextended as far as price move. and it's not really helping anybody out that had a problem with the valuations. So the bulls are, they're strong right now. You got to be very careful trying to short them. When it does roll over, I think that we are going to see this move taken away very quickly. And I wouldn't be surprised to see us closing this gap down at the 58.50 area. But right now, we have the sell signals, so that is suggesting that we're going to get some kind of pullback down either to the 60.20 or down to closing this gap at this 59.60. That would make sense before heading up, and that would say just give the bearish divergences in place that would fulfill them. Now, we're still working off of the bullish divergences on the daily chart, but you can see momentum is really at levels that you can grind higher for a few more days, but ends up coming down. Now, it's you can see it from each one, and once we get into these levels and you see it, you could grind higher, but once it gives way very fast. So there's still some room for the RSI to get up here, but the moment stochastics is giving us a clear, it's overdone right there, and it can get more overdone, so that's for sure. But if the 60-minute charts, if these sell signals kick in and we do get a pullback, what that will do is now have momentum starting to cross over the last burst up. If we have to make it up to these levels, that will probably start to have the RSI up there, and then from there we may get some some sell signals. We have to wait and see. But right now there's a lot of euphoria out there because Trump's in office, and I guess there's going to be sense back into our market, into just at the world is probably the best way to put it. But really, it's the economy part where there's just brainless decisions that were made with the past administration, and they're getting wiped clean right now. And when they're done, it is going to clear up some of the pipes for some good economic growth. But as I said, where the valuations are right now, it's we've had buy-in right now, but it's going to get to a point where just regular money managers are going to pull out or start scaling back some. So we have our upside targets. Let's take a look at the short term and see what's playing out here. So 15 minutes, still have our bearish divergences, very overbought on the RSI. And typically once it gets in here, we just kind of go sideways. So we're at these levels again. I think if they gap it up, it's going to be the gap to new highs, and that's going to set up that trade where whatever gap is left here is typically filled within the next 2 to 3 trading days. So if we get a big gap up tomorrow, then you could look to start fading it, and with this being your first target. I do believe it's going to be lower, but right now we have to wait for the momentum to really calm down a little bit. So first support level, obviously it's going to be the 61.02. Below that, it's going to be the lows that would today. Well, we have the moving average that's at 60.87, but really it would be this right here. The next support would be the 60.75. If the bears can get it through it, that's where we start looking at the somewhere down into that 60.50. And if they start breaking that, that's where we start looking lower and saying, all right, we probably have a top in place. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Have a fantastic night, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.